Perfect. And I'll upload it, Beth, and send it to you too. All right, guys. Well, welcome. We're so excited to have you guys joining us tonight. This is a topic that I didn't think I would be all that interested in, but I'm super pumped about now that I've been doing it because it is working like a charm. So before we get started, we wanted to introduce ourselves. This beautiful lady that just popped on the screen, Beth Graves, is one of my dearest and closest friends. But before LaBelle, I honestly wouldn't have said that. We were mutual friends. I always had this strong connection with her. We had met through another business that she was in for a hot second. But I always thought, like, she's such a cool chick. I love the way she always connects people. She always makes people feel comfortable. And one day we are going to work together. So my biggest tip for you tonight is to put things out there that you want, because I knew one day we were going to work together. And so we stayed in touch over those years. And when Beth Graves and I connected again, it was with the Thrive Experience in LaBelle. And I'm so utterly blessed because we get to work together every single day. Beth Graves is a mom of 2 awesome kids. One is in college, first year in college. Her daughter, Mackenzie, who is like a total rock star. You're going to be seeing her podcast coming out soon. And then her son, Donnie, who's like a hockey star, super great kid. But what's most important out of her 2 kids, in my opinion, is that they're just super great kids. And she's married. She lives out in Wellington. If you don't know what Wellington, Florida is, it's like the horse Wally World area. And it's super fun and cool because she literally has like this horse community that goes all across the world because of all the different people that come to Wellington. But the best thing about Beth is that she's a social media guru and a training guru. So the fact that I got to teach Beth about Facebook stories was like drop the mic. I'm just going to say it. So I was super excited when she was like, tell me a little bit more about what you're doing with that. And let's do a training together. I was like, yay, I get to teach Beth something about social media. So it's super cool. All right, you can introduce me. I got to turn on my fan.
Blair.
Sweating.
She's sweating. I'm like all paranoid because I am working at my office, and so I don't have a pretty background like Blair's because I have all kinds of backgrounds that I put up. So I'm having insecurity about the background. And if you notice in Blair's wallpaper, you can see crosses. If you look closely at the pattern, look right there. So now that when you see her go live, you're always going to see those things. So let me tell you about Blair. I first met Blair. And this just goes to show you to always keep relationships and stay in touch. And I first met Blair because I saw a bracelet on social media. So we weren't social media gurus at that time. And I reached out to my friend Heather and I said, wait, what did you do to get that bracelet? Next thing you know, she's dragging me down to Fort Lauderdale to Blair's jewelry meeting. And Blair was super perky. I'm not going to lie. She was a little annoying perky. And I was like, who is this little kindergarten? I used to teach kindergarten perky. Let's sell some necklaces. Like I don't feel like that's life-changing, but there was something about her that I wanted to be around her. So she didn't make 1 penny off of me in that other business. I literally did it for 6 weeks. I'm a really good salesperson. Like I had some great trunk shows and I earned this retreat. And earning a retreat means you paid for your hotel, you paid for your flight, and I think you even paid for your lunch. And Blair reached out and she said, well, why don't we stay together? And that was probably a daring thing because now that I know her, she's really like people in her space that she doesn't know because she's, you just don't want to have a stranger stay with you in a hotel room. But we got along fabulously. We went to San Francisco, and that was when our friendship formed. So sometimes those decisions can literally change your life. And we would stay back and forth in touch. I would buy jewelry from her. She would support me on whatever crazy thing I was telling her I was going to try to do. And anyway, she reached out to me. I signed up to promote that day. She hit the top rank of the company within, I think, 96 days. And I'm a super demanding personally enrolled promoter. Seriously, like she is probably half the time has like pictures of me up that she has to like not throw darts at. Cause I'm like, Blair, I need this. She's always of service. And that's, I mean, with boundaries, it's not like I can like stand over her when she's sleeping, only when we stay in hotel rooms together. And, but she always of how can I serve? How can I help? She knows how to talk me off a ledge. She knows how to respond to me so that I'm the probably irrational one of our friendship. So we're a good combination. But most importantly, her values, she's an anchor to the team. She's always bringing it back to, let's pray about that. And I'm like, pray about it. Let's just rip it apart for a few minutes. So it's kind of fun to watch. And she's helped me to be a much better person, a better wife, a better mom. She's helped me to make a lot of money. And which I like that part too. But when we first started, and we're going to get into this training, we were not trained in social media. In fact, in 2014, people weren't doing the right things on social media. And I often think if we would have started the right way, I am sure I was unfollowed by 90% of my friend list. And I still was able to hit the top rank of the company. I was still able to hit because I was doing so much off of Facebook. But we're going to show you tonight how to use your Facebook story feature, and you can use it on Instagram to bring, and it's consistency, you guys, to bring new leads your way, but how to take somebody that's watching you and not be kind of creepy and weird and icky, but have a good conversation. So Blair started studying that story feature and started to get new orders. I'm like, you got to tell me what you're doing. So she did. And I got 3 orders and 22 people added to my list just by doing what she told me to do. And I sometimes don't take direction very well.
Imagine that.
On another hand, though, I'm highly coachable. Meaning when I first started, I was 100% said to Blair and Elise, you tell me what to do and I'll do it. You tell me what to do and I'll do it, because I knew that they had had success before me. So I'm going to turn it back over to Blair.
All right, awesome. Well, I hope you guys are super excited. And here's what I found. And here's why I decided to check out this Facebook story training that I did, was because I saw the person who I took the training under say 300 million people are on Facebook stories and less are on news feeds. I wish I'd written down the number, but it's like way less are on the news feeds, okay? So 300 million people are on Facebook stories and less are on news feeds. And I thought, that's really honestly not surprising, because how many of you go to Instagram and you immediately look at stories over the actual Instagram posts? Like, raise your hand if you do that. Literally, I'm the only one. I do not believe you. Okay, good. Thank you. Some of you raise your hand because you just—
Wait, I gotta tell you a funny Facebook story thing. Can I tell you?
Yeah.
Okay. So those of you that have kids in college, follow their friends on Instagram and then watch their stories, and you can totally spy on your kids. I was like, hey, Mackenzie, how was that champagne last night? Because I saw one of her friends' stories. They were doing a cheer. She doesn't drink, but she's like, I just had 1 glass of champagne and then I went to bed.
It's about how I am too. 1 glass of champagne, I'm in bed. All right, so that made me excited, because those of you that raised your hand that are like me, I mean, I like looking at Instagram stories. They're usually a little bit funnier. It's showing a little bit more personality. And I don't know, I just want to see what's going on. And also, you're going to put up things that maybe you wouldn't put up on the actual feed because it's gone in 24 hours, kind of like Snapchat, right? So that got me intrigued. And then as I started learning more, what I found out is, I mean, this makes total sense. And some of you are going to be like, of course. But when Facebook comes out with something new, they want you to use it. And if you use it, your algorithm changes. And the more you use it, the more people are going to see it, right? Because they are going to reward the people who are following the behavior that they want them to have, okay? It's just like if you're in a classroom, going back to my kindergarten days, the one kid who sat quietly while I was reading the story was the one who I constantly praised and gave a cookie to. So the other kids would come sit down on the carpet quietly and watch the story, right? So it makes total sense about why we should be using it. So first and foremost, you want to use Facebook stories because that's what Facebook wants you to do, and it's going to help your algorithm. Since I've been using Facebook stories, guys, and it's only been 3 weeks for me, not even 3, the beginning of March. So yeah, 3 weeks. Here's what's happened. Not only have I, gotten some new customer accounts, I've gotten some new orders. I've gotten some people added into our Ultra Challenge, which I'll explain in a second for those of you maybe are not Thrivers. But what I really found that even more than that is people who I have not talked to on Facebook. They might be friends of mine in my local community, but I haven't talked to them on Facebook or seen their newsfeed in like a year or two. I actually kind of thought that they had maybe unfriended me, were on there. You guys, I'm going to actually show you what I mean in a second. When I screenshotted the people who actually liked and looked at my message the other day, I was absolutely shocked by some of the faces that popped back up. And what did that make me do? Go back, and we'll go over how to follow up in just a second. So it made me go back, reach out to them, and now I'm having conversations with them about a new product that we just launched, Ultra DFT 2.0, okay? So it was very exciting. You can tell by my voice, I'm super excited about it because it's not just another thing for me to add to my list to do. I really don't love adding things to my list. I'm a very organized, calendar-friendly person. So now that I'm doing these Facebook stories, yes, I do need to put those 5 different times on my calendar. They're not things that you can schedule post, but I do have a theme and it helps me. And Beth's going to walk through an example of a sequence after I kind of go through this. But for example, I try to stick to a theme each day. Like maybe Monday for me is Motivation Monday. Maybe Tuesday is Transformation Tuesday. Wednesday is either Wealth Wednesday or Wellness Wednesday, depending on what I have for content. Thursday is Thankful Thursdays. That's something I just really love. Friday is either Flex Friday or Fun Friday. Saturday is Self-Care Saturday. Oh, Shout Out Saturday. I love shouting people out that are doing an awesome job. It could be a business, a product, an opportunity, a person. Sunday is Self-Care Sunday, okay? So I have different themes for each day. And I'm going to be totally honest, if you go look at my Facebook today, it's very weak. And for that, I'm sorry, but I overslept this morning, just being honest. So the reason I love having a theme each day is because that allows not only for me to know what posts I'm going to be putting up. I love Natasha Robertson taught me amazing scheduling, so shout out to you. For my social media, I use the same things that I'm doing on my Facebook newsfeed to do on my Instagram. It allows me to keep things organized. But for Facebook stories, I just kind of use that same theme for each day and put things up. And here's what I learned. You need to have at least 5 Facebook stories. I'm talking about Facebook stories today, but you can use these same things for your Instagram stories, okay, guys? The reason I'm pushing Facebook stories today is because if you are 40 or older, you probably have a lot of leads on Facebook right now that are cold, that we can turn into warm and hot leads by using Facebook stories. So I want you to think about that. If you're 40 and older and you already have a large amount of friends on Facebook, we can take the cold leads that are there and turn them into warm and hot by using Facebook stories. It doesn't mean you can't use that same content on Instagram stories, and it doesn't mean you can't do Instagram stories. Do them both, okay? If you love Instagram and you're having great success, like Beth is rocking it, Kelly Hoover is rocking it. I have some people who are like doing amazing on Instagram, okay? So they would be using these same things on their Instagram stories. But here's what I'm finding with Facebook stories. You want to have at least 5 a day. So do one first thing when you do your morning post on Facebook, and then find a mid-morning, a lunchtime, a late afternoon, and an evening. 1 out of those 5 must be a poll, okay? It's really easy, guys, and unfortunately, I don't have it set up. I'm going to learn this. It's on my list of things I am going to achieve of how to set up my phone onto my computer that I can show you guys things. But it's very easy to make a poll on there, so ask a question. So Beth's going to give you guys an example of going through an actual sequence of this, but I'm going to tell you guys what worked really well for me last week, for example. Okay, I'm going to throw it up. So it was, it was probably Transformation Tuesday, but I was also pushing our newest product called, and I'm going to hit share. Hold on, guys. Let's share screen. Our newest product, which is called DFT Ultra 2.0, and it's all about having a rapid speed weight loss, right? So we had this really great email that came out from our company that already had people's text messages on there that are amazing results. So all I did was hop onto my Facebook stories first thing that morning, and this is what I put up, okay? You guys can see right here, I had 64 people look at this, okay? And I'm going to show you guys what was so cool about that in a second, but I had 64 people look at this, okay? For me, that's a lot. For some of you, maybe it's not, but for me, I was getting only about 15 to 20 at that point. So that really is like 3 times the amount that I was getting. All I did was I put results are rolling already from DFT Ultra 2.0, want to know more, ask. Then the next couple pictures that I did, my early morning post was actually a before and after picture that somebody already did of their results with DFT Ultra 2.0. Then the next one that I did was a question. It was a poll. Did you know that summer bodies begin in the winter? And I had like a cute picture, I think, of a girl in a bikini. Okay. That was it. That was my question. It was that dumb and that simple. Okay. But I had tons of people respond on there. Right. So now I know who's interested in getting their summer body or already is working on it or already in that mindset. And then the fourth one that I did for late afternoon was actually about a body challenge that we were having, the Ultra Body Challenge group that we had. And I put something up that said, like, want to join our challenge? Let me know. We're going to have lots of fun in there, 8 weeks long. Okay. And then my last one for the day was this one. And then I put up, I think, like some funny, like, GIFs with it. It was about supporting another success won't even dampen yours. I think I had like a funny GIF of like somebody eating cake or something. Like, you know, if you want to eat cake and you don't want to lose weight, it's okay, but don't make fun of the people who do, right? So it's kind of funny. I try to at least have one funny thing in there. So you need to have at least 5 a day. One needs to be a poll, and you want them all to kind of go along with each other, right? So be congruent. All right. Yes. And they're only up for 24 hours. So here's what I found, guys. When I did that one about the DFT Ultra with the text messages and I had 64, I went on immediately that night. Every night before I go to bed, I go to my Facebook stories. It's written on my calendar to check in on my Facebook stories. And I screenshot all the people that commented, liked, put a heart, whatever. You guys, when I looked at that 64, out of that 64, 20-something of them were non-thrivers. That means they weren't customers. They weren't promoters on my team. They weren't people that were already in the industry selling that particular product. They were completely leads that were outside of that. And about 10 of them, I thought had unfriended me because we hadn't talked in a very long time. So I reached out to each one of them in a very easy and the way that I would want somebody to reach out to me. And the reason I'm saying that to you guys is because so many times I get messages for people that say, how are you reaching out? What is your verbiage? What are you saying? So stop for a second and just think about how you would want somebody to reach out to you. Okay? If somebody saw that you liked their post, how would you want them to reach out to you? So I had a very simple message that said, hey, Melissa, I was so excited to see that you were checking out my Facebook story today. How are you and your kids? Okay? That's all I said first. Then I wrote down her name for the next day to do a follow-up. The next day, if she had messaged me back, we continued talking. If she didn't, I still reached out again. And I said, I noticed that you were checking out the DFT Ultra Challenge. Are you interested in being part of an 8-week accountability group that will help you totally rock your accountability as we head into the summer? I know we're all going to be bouncing around in bikinis. Okay. So I just said, like, I didn't offend her. I wasn't saying, I know you need to lose weight, so let me know if you're interested. Like, I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying, hey, you told me once that you like weren't happy with your body. Are you interested in this group? You guys think about how you'd want somebody to say it to you. So I just said, hey, we're going to have this fun accountability group. It's going to be 8 weeks long. We're totally going to be bouncing around in our bikinis. Can't wait. Were you interested in that? Is that why you were watching? So I'm asking questions. Okay. The more you ask, then they're going to engage back. And that started a conversation that allowed me to get 2 people that ordered and allowed me to get a bunch of people as new customers into my thing. And actually 3 of them had ordered Thrive with me 4.5 years ago and quit. And so it started a conversation of, oh my goodness, I actually was looking and I saw that you did order with me 4.5 years ago. What made you stop? You guys, don't be scared to ask that question. So I asked the question, and guess what? One of them, it was this person's fault, mine. And so I got to apologize for that and try to fix it and do some great customer service, right? So it allowed me to have conversations with people. Now, I've been doing this Facebook stories for a few weeks now. And so when I see that one of my Facebook stories gets a lot of traction, like the 64 or the 23, I save that into a photo album in my phone that's labeled FB Stories. The reason I'm doing that is because you can recycle things again after a few weeks. So now I know that worked really well. So in about 12 or 14 days, I'm going to use that again. Okay. And if it's relevant to use again in a week, then maybe I'll use it again in a week. But if it had to do with maybe a book I was reading or something like that, and I got a lot of traction, I'm going to come back to that same post again and use it again in a few weeks. All right. So you're not having to constantly like hammer yourself to think of things. So if you are already on Instagram, I will challenge you to do this as well. Go back and see some of your posts. I know you can't see your Facebooks or your Instagram stories, but go back and see which posts got you the most comments, and people looking at it. That's going to help you know what kind of things that your target audience is interested in. And that's what you can kind of play with in your Facebook stories. So I'm going to throw it over to Beth, and she's going to kind of walk you guys through an actual sequence and give you guys some great ideas.
Thank you, Blair. Am I big on the screen now? Or am I small?
You're always big, baby.
Big.
Oh, like big, like good. Not big, like you need Ultra 2.0. Not like that.
Speaker view. Speaker view. I don't know if I'm speaker view yet because I just see you.
You're on speaker view.
So you guys, I'm on speaker view. I see you like on my whole computer screen. So here's the thing is, I want you to, first of all, take out of the equation, how am I going to get them to buy? Okay. We want to have our Facebook stories be something that people look forward to. There are some people that I can't get enough of their stories. And I want you to, first of all, the number one thing that in your stories is, who are you speaking to in your stories? Blair said she's speaking to a 40-year-old woman. What is she like? What are her frustrations? Like, you need to know your avatar, because if you are trying to speak to dog lovers, 25-year-old fashionistas, and 45-year-old premenopausal women, your stories won't speak to anyone. So there's tons of marketing research on this, and it's just when you have to think about it. So who is your target for your story, and speak to one person. Look at one Facebook friend. So if Blair was my target audience, a 40-year-old busy mom, and let's say she was still a kindergarten teacher, and so I knew she was stressed out about not having time with her kids, I'm going to speak to one person in my stories, meaning if I wanted to speak to dog lovers, I would put all dog stuff on Instagram, and I would put all dog things, but I don't sell a dog product. So my dogs are just part of my walking routine. So an avatar is really important. There's so many pieces on that. And that's one of the pieces that we miss, that every single time we're posting on social media, who are we speaking to? So as you think about your stories, your feed, you guys, and this is something that I really want you to start to think about. Your feed is, especially on Instagram. You should not have any daily posts on Instagram, and this is not an Instagram training. That go to my feed. I don't have crazy tagging and this and that. It's an overall lifestyle view of who I am. And my Facebook, although I do share Thrive on it, I am trying to make it looks like a more polished piece of who I am. It's not. You don't have I want to talk about that in terms of, don't be a Spamela Pamela all over Facebook, because 90% of the people will unfollow you because they don't want to see your stuff. You want to inspire. Same in your stories. You want to provide inspiration. Some of my best interaction in stories and on my Facebook feed are letterboard quotes. I just go to Pinterest and I go funny letterboard quotes. I screenshot it. I crop it and I use it, and then it gets shared. Like my "don't be a salsa, be guacamole" quote, that has so many people loving it. Inspire on your stories. So let's think about a sequence of stories. What I want somebody to see is what I do for work, my lifestyle. I want them to see that I've got plenty of time with my kids. I want them to see a health and wellness lifestyle, and I want them to see stories that are inspiring for them to ask. Okay. So if we were going to do the ultra challenge is super easy, because that's a transformation Tuesday. So you might start with a quote that's funny about, somebody had one that was something about donuts and muffin tops, or some funny quote, and then you could put a poll on it. Can you relate? Yes, heck yes. So you would start the day with a quote. That might be the very first thing that you do. The next thing that I would do is I would always do a quick video that would crack people up. Maybe you're thinking you could hop on your video for your next one and be like, okay, so I'm really working on healthier choices. But this is what I found in my car. Come on, people. And maybe it's a Pop-Tart wrapper or something funny, or you're just, something that gets people laughing. I love, love, love. I love to do a quick video that's kind of behind the scenes. My tone of voice is always humorous. I kind of make fun of myself and everything around me. So I would next do a quick video. People love quick videos. You can even use a filter. You could do, so let's say that we're doing Wednesday and it's Wellness Wednesday, okay? So I would start my day with my morning routine. Part of Wellness Wednesday is my self-care. Who has a morning routine? And then I might post a picture of my affirmation journals. The next thing I would do is a quote. For what in Wellness Wednesday, I would probably do a funny quote about making better choices. The next thing that I would post is a shout out. I would tell a story, and most likely it would be, maybe it's, my friend Shannon, who's this badass personal trainer, and I'm gonna shout out that she's, look at her transformation, or that my friend Shannon sent over an eating plan, and guess what, you guys, I'm allowed to eat pasta, love macros, like give them a glimpse. Okay, so now I'm shouting out somebody. That's 3. Number 4 is that question in the poll, asking them for feedback. Okay, so maybe it is, maybe you're not asking about the challenge. Ask them about your, has anyone ever made chicken breast in a crock pot? Yes, no. Do you have a great recipe for crock pot chicken? Yes, no. Because then you have a reason to reach out. And then the last one of the day could be, and you can, in these photos and things that you're doing, you want to make sure you show the product. And then maybe you might say, 8 hours of sleep, thankful for my supplements, thankful for my Thrive because I sleep like a baby, or something like that they can kind of see what you're doing. So my flow for Wellness Wednesday is a funny quote, a video, a question, and keeping it real. Like, I love, like, my dog was on Wellness Wednesday on one of my stories because he's down 10 pounds because he picked up his walking routine and he switched to a healthier food. That he did, that he got like they were all cheering for him. Oliver, he's looking so hot. So that's, and also don't be afraid to, like, so Fabulous Family Friday or something, or Mom Hacks on Monday. And you don't always have to stay on theme. But you need to stay consistent with showing up in your stories and just making them fun. And also, you have to give to get. So look at other people's stories, see what makes you laugh, and always comment and respond. So when somebody commented, I had a lot of people congratulate Oliver on his weight loss. And I just went over to them. I'm like, okay, I said something, I wish it was that easy for us. And then my friend wrote back and said, well, Oliver didn't really have a choice, did he? And we just started chatting. And then I brought it over to, I said, hey, are you currently taking any supplements? That's what I do. And she's like, yeah, oh my gosh, I love X, Y, and Z. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Keep me posted on how it's going. What are you doing for your workouts right now? I didn't try to get her to switch over. I just had that relationship with her and had that conversation. And so I know what she said she was using, and it's short term. She's taking 15 different, capsules or vitamins a day, and she's going to get tired of it, and she's going to remember me. So that connection, so the conversations, the one thing is, I did ask last week I had some people send me their actual messages that they were sending out. The more conversational you can be, the more people will want to continue to watch your stories. If they think, I can't watch Blair's story, she's going to reach out to me about Thrive, and I don't want Thrive. Don't reach out about Thrive the first or second or third time unless you're inviting them to an ultra challenge. So if you have a Wellness Wednesday, and don't always make it Thrive, Thrive, Thrive in your stories. Make it fun. Make it like putting the hockey equipment away. Like, this stuff smells horrible. Who has a solution for me? Like, do a little video. So the one thing I can say is just make it happen. I remember when we were with Elise and she was doing her stories. One thing I want to tell you is, don't be that person that misses a moment because you're like, I got to put this in my stories. So I will, I'll take, like, we were at a a little Breyer horse signing thing, and everybody else had their cameras. And I was like, oh, could you text me those photos? Your stories don't have to be immediate either. No one knows that I wasn't at the Breyer horsing at 6 o'clock, but I didn't want to let me get this on my stories. Today I was on my stories with Jen Morano, and I missed a goal. And they were all like, that. You don't want that to happen. I was like, oh, we're here at the bad mom moment, but that's for your stories. So just do it. Do polls, do transformations. And also, you guys, when you're shouting out people, so I like to do Fabulous Female Friday, and I will shout out 5 different females during the day, and they're not all thrivers. They might be people that are making a difference in the community. And one thing that I like to do is I like to, she's like, I'm out. One thing I like to do is use the same, like, so if some of you use Pic Collage, I will not make it look, I'll make it like pink with gold and say, congrats, and make it look really, all my fabulous females will have the same theme for the day. And it might say Blair's rocking her business and her health goals. She just sent me a text that she went to Pilates for 30 straight days. Oh, my friend Heather just did her 100th day at Pure Barre. Oh, my friend Sarah just, rescued 78 dogs and did X, Y, and Z, and I make everybody look the same on those days using you don't have to be crazy with how it looks, but especially on Instagram. I kept following this chick. She's from another company, and I didn't know where she was from, but she had this like pink with gold, and everything was congrats, rockstar. I'm like, what is she doing? Who are these people? They all look good. So I just look at what I like, and I do it. Another thing you can do, Blair does this, you can kind of fit this into any of your themes, is show them your outfit for the day. And like, I wear the same thing every day, a black t-shirt, a black tank top, and Lululemon leggings. So like, that would be funny, is, oh, here I am again in my same outfit. Or sometimes I mix it up a bit, and I might wear my black Lululemon shorts or cutoffs. So that's like, kind of type in your questions that you guys have. So your sequence is, so Beth says, is this a change from the 3 posts? This is part of the 3 posts, okay? So when we say be present on social media, you want to be present in your stories, and you might do 1 to 2 posts on social media on your Facebook page. I have all my Facebook posts planned out for the week already. I know when I'm doing a quote. I know when I'm doing a shout out. I know what I'm doing. And if you want to know how to do a poll, you guys just Google it. There's YouTube videos all over the place, how to do a poll in Facebook stories. Everything Blair and I learned, we've Googled or paid somebody to teach us, or learned on YouTube. So you can YouTube video, how to do polls on Facebook. It's literally, you start swiping around, it's a poll option, okay? And then this is my next thing is, tomorrow, make yourself do 3 stories. Don't even worry if it take a photo, and just do it. Just get going. We watched Elise do it, and we didn't do it. I didn't even get on Instagram for a long time. I was like, oh, I don't know anything about Instagram. So just get yourself started and do it, because what you're trying to do here, what we want you to do, is have more conversations. The more conversations that you have are the more people that will ask you about the Thrive experience. My goal is for people to say, what do you do? What do you do? I've got to know what you do. So I'm trying to build this intrigue and show them behind the scenes. This is a great Facebook story right now. Snap a picture of this Zoom and be like, learning social media from 2 millionaires. Like, not that I want you to shout me out as a millionaire, but that's going to intrigue someone. Don't say my thriving blah, blah, blah. They're like, oh yeah, okay, you told us. Don't tell them the end of the book. Just post what's happening in your life. So the theme allows people to see some sequence, but you can also just kind of show them behind the scenes in your life some days. Some days I don't have a theme. Many days I do have a theme. But the way I find out, like, I get the most people on polls and quotes and shout outs. People want to hear the stories. Anything else, Blair?
Nope, I think you hit it. You guys, I kind of gave directions
All right.
there about how to do the poll. It's super easy once you just do it once.
So I want to just, I just want to end with one thing about conversations. What I do is, and this is a quick Facebook group training. How do I get more friends on Facebook? So I have 5 groups that are not network marketing groups that I know that there aren't 28 other people from our company in. They have to do with my interests. Some are women entrepreneurial groups, building businesses online, and some are, I'm in a tennis group, and I'm in a lot of healthy eating groups. They're all over the place. So on my calendar, I will contribute to those groups for 10 minutes a day. So I'm going to post a recipe in my healthy eating group. I'm going to post a little business tip in my business building groups. And then I'm going to spend time encouraging people and asking questions inside of those groups, because guess what? Those people are going to see me inside of this Facebook group. It's like networking. They'll see me inside of this Facebook group, and they'll come over and they'll watch my stories and they'll look at my feed. And how do I want to show up when they come and see me? Do I want to show up as them going, oh, I did this today. I was looking at somebody in a Facebook group. She was giving valuable content about I'm looking at, for customer retention for a product. I went to her page, and all it was sell, 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 sell. There was no value to it. I immediately didn't follow her. Another person I saw, somebody had said, shout out to your favorite leaders in network marketing. I went to her page because he had said she had made something like $40 million. There was a live video that gave me so much value. I don't know what company she's with. I just know she's giving so much value. I'm not going to go buy her product or join her team, but I was intrigued to watch her stories. I was intrigued to see where she was taking her kids for spring break. I got pulled in because I thought, this is an interesting person. So are you interesting? Be entertaining, be inviting, put your best picture up for your profile, and then show kind of behind the scenes. Show yourself with a mud mask on Wellness Wednesday before you go to bed and be like, this is how I roll, right? Make your audience laugh, make them love you, engage with them, and then have conversations. So Blair, I have one more question for you is, when do you cut to the chase? Okay. When you're chit-chatting with somebody, like when does it feel right?
Yeah, I have to say, I heard this, I think it was Ray Higdon, I'm not 100% sure, because like Beth was saying, like when I'm looking for something that I'm trying to improve, I just kind of Google, look on YouTube, try to get better at it. And I remember whoever this was said this: if you are not getting to the point after you've been messaging back and forth between 3 to 6 messages back and forth, then you are scared. You are being chicken crap. Okay. So I love that he just called me out, because sometimes I do get into those conversations. People go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I have found 2 tricks, guys. I'm going to share with you guys my 2 tricks before we get off. One is I ask, what do you do now? Because a lot of times it's people that I haven't talked to in a long time, or if it's a brand new person, I'm like, oh, what do you do for a job or career, or, for business? And that starts a conversation, because then when they ask me, I have my elevator pitch. I know exactly what I say. I help people feel their best every single day with 3 simple steps. And then they're like, well, what does that mean? Right? So it gets them asking me questions, just like I ask them questions. The second trick that I do is if I'm engaging with somebody and I need to figure out how to get it to the next spot, I just say to them, after we've been talking, I will say something like, I actually think that you would absolutely love the Thrive experience. Have you heard of it yet? I just get straight to the point. That's usually somebody I'm scared, because otherwise I like to ask questions like, what do you do? So they ask me those kind of things. But if I'm scared, which happens, guys, there are people that are on your chicken list that you're just nervous about, I just say straight up, like, have you heard of the Thrive experience yet? I really feel like you'd love it. And then I say why I think they would love it. I get to the point.
Yeah. And so one of the things that I will say to someone is, oh, I don't think I shared with you my business. Like, let me tell you what I do. I've been chatting with, I have a big reunion coming up in October. Thank goodness for Ultra, right? I'm going to be like walking in there, like, what will be my theme song? I still am looking for my theme song. So I will say, I don't think I've shared with you what I've been doing for the last 4 years after I've asked them some questions. I'm asking them a lot of questions. And I will just say, oh my gosh, you know what? I can 100% tell you this, every single person our age needs the Thrive experience. And I will say, let me grab you some information, or it's an invite. This is the last thing that we'll talk about is I'm always looking for places to invite people. So are you going to do a Facebook Live on your page tomorrow night and interview a Thriver? I would just invite and say, hey, we've been chit-chatting. I haven't said much about what I do. I'd love for you to hop on my page at 6 o'clock tonight. You can learn more about what it is that I do in the Thrive experience. If you're on Blair's or my team, and I know most teams have this, we have we have interviews that go on inside of groups. We have the Ultra Challenge. So you're inviting them to something. And if you don't have anything going on, invite them to a little happy and healthy party. Figure out how you're inviting them, but just ask. Just ask. All they can say is no. And you know what? Here's the thing. When they say, no, I'm not interested, stay in touch. Don't just drop them. Stay in touch. Not, just keep them on your list. Be madly organized in how your lists look. Make sure you're checking in with them. And that's it. We had 83 people on this tonight. I hope it was helpful. This cracks me up because this is like taking 2 social media dropouts and us teaching social media cracks me right up. Because 4 years ago, I was like, what am I doing? Drinking my 3rd Diet Coke of the day.
With gummy bears in her hair.
With gummy bears in my hair. So thanks for hopping on. And somebody said they wanted our schedule. I'm going to give you guys a job to do. I want you to, I'm going to be looking at all of your stories tomorrow. You can tag us in your stories. There's a way that you can tag people. Or just if you find a really good story sequence, well, maybe we'll do a follow-up. But most importantly, just do it. Like, have fun with it. Tomorrow's Monday. So maybe, what a great theme would be? Makeover Monday. Like, make over your junk drawer. Make over your kid's lunch. Like, just be like, it's Makeover Monday. This is what my kid got in his lunch last week, and this is what he's getting in his lunch this week. It's Makeover Monday. Who can help me with a chicken tender? Who has a good chicken tender air fryer recipe? That's the kind of stuff that gets people talking, and then you have those conversations. Okay, thanks, Bridget, for the compliment. Thanks, you guys. Our love language is compliments, so keep them coming. Thanks, Blair, for hopping on. You have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to y'all soon.